Medicine in the Middle Ages, 1250 to 1500. With no one taking responsibility for maintaining the structures built by the Romans, the public health facilities in towns fell to ruins. Although this had some effect on health and hygiene, it did not affect ideas about disease, and so the withdrawal of the Romans had little impact on the treatments being used in medicine. Apart from Galen's theory of opposites, the Romans had shown little interest in developing their understanding of disease and illness any further. They worked out many of the cures they used through trial and error. They remembered successful remedies and repeated them even though they did not understand why they worked. Honey was a common ingredient, but not just to make the medicine taste nice. It seemed to help sore throats and cuts. Onions, garlic, wine, and lichen from trees were also used often, all of which we now know have antibiotic properties. The Christian Church became increasingly important during the Middle Ages. It was an international organisation across all Europe, which made it an important channel of communication. Most priests could read and write, and senior churchmen were often included among the king's advisors. Religion was a very important part of people's lives because it provided explanations for so much that happened: bad harvests, the death of an animal, or someone becoming suddenly ill. Religion told them that these things occurred because God was displeased with them, or because God was testing them to see if they stayed faithful even when bad things happened. During the Middle Ages, the Greek theory of the four humours, popularised by Hippocrates, dominated. When we are healthy, these four humours, blood, phlegm, yellow bile and black bile, are perfectly balanced. When we fall sick, they become unbalanced. Claudius Galen, a Roman doctor, developed this theory further. He suggested that the balance of a person's four humours could be restored by his theory of opposites. Too much phlegm, which is linked to water and cold, you should eat hot peppers. The Church taught that God sent disease as a punishment for human sin. People also blamed astrology and would consult the zodiac man, a chart of the human body linking each part to one of the star signs, and the Jews. These were all supernatural ideas about the causes of illness. People also believed in natural causes of illness, such as volcano fumes, the position of the planets, and bad miasmas. Bad breath was thought to spread leprosy, for instance. Galen wrote over 350 texts about medicine and surgery, which summarised medical knowledge at the time. Galen's books became the basis for medical training for over 100 years. Galen's ideas also fitted in with the ideas of the Christian Church, which controlled education in the Middle Ages. His theories matched the belief that God had created human beings. As the Church disapproved of human dissection, knowledge of anatomy was largely based on Galen's dissection of animals such as pigs. This meant it was basic and largely inaccurate. For example, Galen incorrectly thought the jaw had two bones and that blood was made in the liver and used up around the body. Treatments. Trained physicians based their diagnosis and treatment on the four humours. Treatment continued to be a mixture of tried and tested methods such as bloodletting, purging and laxatives, and herbal remedies. Healers and patients also showed a belief in the supernatural, so cures might include prayer, or holding a lucky charm, or going on a pilgrimage. Only basic surgery was practiced, such as amputations and caesareans. Preventions. For the individual, not being sinful and prayer were good preventions. Keeping the four humours in balance through bleeding, purging, and a balanced diet. Flagellation was also encouraged. To combat miasmas, purifying the air with pompadours or herbs. These are like today's car air fresheners that we have hanging around our mirrors, for example. Ringing bells and lighting fires also help to keep the air moving. The regimen sanitatis often encouraged personal hygiene through bathing and washing hands before a meal. Cleanliness was next to godliness. And household hygiene was encouraged also, sweeping the floors, for example. Public health enforced by the government included quarantine during the Black Death. And Edward II dredged the Thames, and Edward III banned the slaughter of animals in the streets of London in 1369. Care. If you were sick during the Middle Ages and you had enough money, you could visit a trained physician. Physicians would consult urine charts and astrological information and direct you to an apothecary or a barber surgeon for treatment. By 1350, they needed a license. An apothecary had no medical qualifications but was cheaper than the physician. He mixed various ingredients to produce medicines and ointments. The barber surgeon practiced a lot of bloodletting, boil lancing and teeth pulling. He would not be trained but could conduct basic surgery such as amputations. Housewives may have a reputation as a wise woman. They knew traditional remedies and how to deal with broken bones and childbirth. Many people would also go on a pilgrimage to a holy shrine and pray. Finally, hospitals were nothing like a modern hospital. They were run by monks and nuns and were usually for the old or for specific illnesses, such as St. Bartholomew's, were often small with just 12 beds and focused on care, not cure.